Do you have things that feel difficult in your life? Everybody does, right? So when we face difficulty, a common reaction is to feel frustrated, right? And you want to quit, you don't want to do it anymore. And then sometimes you want to, you want simpler solutions for this. So, for example, I'm a life coach, and for me to coach people, I need to find clients, right? I need to find people who are willing to work with me. And then that is hard for a lot of coaches. So I get emails like, do you have trouble finding clients? We can double your client acquisition and blah, 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 blah. All you have to do is blah. I get tons of emails like this, right? And whatever your expertise and whatever your specialty is, I'm sure you get emails like this all the time. So my other job is a software engineer. So when I do software engineering, my inbox is like, find your next job without coding interviews and blah 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 blah. Finding your next job is super easy. Okay, and so I'm just establishing that things are difficult, and a lot of people want to find easier escapes out of this difficult situation, right? But there's, I think, similar approaches, but they're very different. And the two approaches I'm thinking about is, number one is when you're faced with something that's hard, when you ask, how can this be simpler? How can I make this easier? When you ask yourself that, you're observing this difficult big chunk of a problem and you're utilizing your creative brain to break down, simplify it, make the problem more manageable at a pace so you can continue to solve it in a sustainable way, right? So that is, I think, a productive, I mean, not productive, that word is kind of misused or less. So it's utilizing your brain, and you are not trying to you're not trying to change the nature of the problem, which is it's a complicated thing, but you are using your brain to make your representation of the problem simpler. And the other way is there has to be an easy fix for this, and that is basically saying, oh, this is really big, but I'm gonna get a shrink gun and make it small. Like, you're trying to change the nature of the problem itself and make it a smaller one. That can't happen because you have no control over other things outside of yourself. You can only control how you view the problem, how you tackle the problem, how you approach the problem. But the problem itself cannot really be changed. And so when you are looking for easy ways out of a situation, you're always going to find that there are trade-offs. So yes, can I pay someone to get clients? Yeah, it's a thing that happens. And does it make client acquisition easier? I guess if you are thinking about it from the perspective of my effort, but then it costs money. It doesn't. I don't have control over the finding process, so I can't work with the clients I want to work with, and I can't develop the skills in order to acquire clients, right? So it has a trade-off. It Nothing can solve a really complicated problem in an easy fashion without trade-offs. So next time you're faced with a difficulty, I want you to think, evaluate, like, am I looking for an easy way out of this? Or am I trying to see this in a simplified way so that I can approach this? It doesn't feel so intimidating. And one way is using your brain, one way is making the best out of your brain, and one way is just using trade-offs. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I wouldn't say it's like a disingenuous or fake kind of an approach, but always comes with a trade-off. Hope this helped, and I see you in the next video.